Get ready for the impact, no way to take it back. This is the steel and canvas, this ain't no time for practice. High stakes, spectacle, adrenaline attack, welcome to Slammin' It. Slammin' It.
And welcome to another installment of Slammin' It. I'm Mando Medina from Dana, along with my tag team partner. As always, he is the Jack of Rock, Jack Lutz, with the side bicep pose there, now into the tricep pose. One of these days, he's going to do the double bicep pose, but backwards. What's going on, dude?
Mando, I'm rolling, baby. How are you, man?
Good, brother. How was your week? First of all, let's talk about that beautiful picture you got behind you, brother.
Oh, that's my girl, man. That's
yeah.
My little creation. It's somewhere along the lines, I got into this Dia de los Muertos, going into the erotic bodybuilder sort of thing. Guys love beautiful women in Dia de los Muertos makeup, so I'm leaning into it right now. It's been this period that I've been in. I'm working on some new stuff as we speak, so yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, by the way, I still have that Batman painting you drew for me like 20 years ago, dude. I still have it. You know, some of the early Lutz work. I have it in the garage. If I remember, awesome. I'll bring it up next week so you can see it, because right now,
that'd be great.
Yeah,
awesome.
So let's get right to it. Once again, a tremendous weekend of wrestling, absolutely tremendous weekend of wrestling. We're gonna have another tremendous weekend of wrestling. Well, I mean, tremendous weekend, more AEW when it comes to the WWE and the Saturday night's main event. Like I said, I was not able to see it live, so I saw the highlights and things of that. But like I said, the one match that I told you was going to be knock it out of the park was going to be Penta and Ethan Page, and it totally was. And by the way, Penta's just doing a tremendous job with everything he's doing. But let's start with what we talked about last week, AEW Double or Nothing, the 8th installment of this pay-per-view. A lot of people like to call it their version of WrestleMania, and I understand why, because this is the first pay-per-view they had 8 years ago. You know, you really had faith in the company that they're going to be able to do something. Start the pay-per-view in May, then the show Dynamite didn't start till I think it was October or something like that, November. But nonetheless, Jack, I just thought this was we told everybody that this was going to be a very long pay-per-view, and it was a very long pay-per-view, 4 hours easily. That's not even counting the pre-show stuff that they showed for free on YouTube. But still, the buy, what they call it, the buy-in. But nonetheless, I thought it was a tremendous pay-per-view. So, Jack, before we break down some of these matches, your thoughts on what you saw Sunday there with AEW Double or Nothing.
Monster, I thought that was one of the best pay-per-views I've seen easily in the past 10 years. Every match, it didn't feel rushed. You didn't have a match that was like the designated pee break. Every match was a banger. You knew you were in for a ride when the first match was the tag team championship between Christian and Cope against FTR. Out of the gate, that was a banger of a match. And I'm reading reviews from like Meltzer and all these other pundits, and I do agree with them that the first two matches were probably the best first two matches in any pay-per-view recently with AEW, man. And just you knew you were in for it right out of the gate with the first match, dude.
No doubt. And like I said, it just shows you that Cope and Christian still have it. And you know what? Congratulations to them. They're tag team champions. And I look forward to I read something today that maybe the Hardys want to get something involved, one last run. Hardys retired the Dudley Boys in TNA last year. I think it was like maybe in October, November, right before they came to El Paso last December. So, yeah, I thought that match was amazing. And, of course, every match was amazing. No match disappointed. So, right now, AEW is on a roll. I mean, just talk about the Will Ospreay match against Samoa Joe. We knew the Swerve Strickland versus Bandito match was going to be lit. Women's championship match, you talked about it, just amazing. Then I know when Fonzie comes in, his favorite match from the pay-per-view was the Stadium Stampede that took place between the Elite and the Demand and all those guys. But let's talk about the World Championship between Darby Allin and MJF. And, of course, we both picked Darby Allin to win because we thought it'd be funny to see MJF with with a bald head. You know what? Obviously, he did not. But once again, Darby Allin, like he did a tremendous job of having the championship for what, maybe about a month. Is that how long he had the championship for, Jack? About a month? I'm not
If
sure.
that, yeah, if that. I mean, but here's the thing: look how many title defenses he had. He had more title defenses than some of the guys across the street. So
Yeah, yeah. The only one
props.
that defended more than him is Penta defending that Intercontinental
Yeah,
Championship. But yeah, and every let's be honest, every single match that Darby Allin when he was defending the AEW World Championship was a banger. Every match was an
yeah.
absolute banger, dude. It was just
Easily.
amazing.
My
For
favorite
me,
was
my
probably the one with Brody. Yeah,
yeah, that one was real good, and the aesthetics, the way it looked, the one where they were at the golf course, the fairway to hell, whatever it was called. I just loved the way that looked. It was amazing. But of course, you come down to this match, and you got to give MJF a lot of credit too, because you got to have your dancing partner looking pretty good as well for you to be able to do other stuff. And the fact that when Darby Allin got on top of the rafters and he actually did the bump and MJF actually took it, I was like, wow, I thought he was
yeah.
going to move out of the way, and he didn't. So overall, that was a spectacular match. And then, of course, we had the turnaround at the end, where Darby Allin backstab, and then he was kind of reminded me of Rey Mysterio, where he was strapped in, and Big Show threw him against the ring post, but this time he was strapped in because they were taking him out. And then, of course,
Yeah.
you had the other guy come off the top and just take him out. But I thought it was a great, tremendous pay-per-view, and they're in a row. And I know they just announced another one on July the 26th, I believe. They're going to be in Canada. I know Jericho is going to be spearheading that one. But the one thing that I do want to talk about very quickly before I get your thoughts on that is that when they're talking to Tony Khan, they're doing the post pay-per-view
The scrum.
press conference, the
Mhm.
scrum. They talked about, hey, I mean, you're thinking to do something. There's a date available in the United States in the month of April of next year. Of course, that's alluding to the WWE being in Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania, and he said he might put something together. And honestly, Jack, I think that's a smart move, because I don't know that many people that are going to go to Saudi Arabia. I'm very curious to see, because all the international people that go and travel and come to the United States to watch WrestleMania, I wonder how many of them are going to go to Saudi Arabia and watch it. Because remember, when they did the Rumble, so the Rumble could be like at a decent time here in America. The Rumble itself was taking place like at 2 in the morning. The match itself
Yeah.
was taking place about 2 in the morning there in Saudi Arabia.
I was going to say, so what's the time right now in Saudi Arabia?
I
So
have no
I think
idea.
that's a brilliant thing to do with AEW's track record when it comes to pay-per-views. And believe me, it's very good. We saw that yesterday. I think it'd be a very nice little option to have for us wrestling fans when Mania comes on, and then you have maybe an AEW pay-per-view. I think that'd be great for all of wrestling. Really, more wrestling to watch. I'm all about it.
We've seen it many a times that when the WWE puts a pay-per-view or a PLE or whatever or something, they do some type of counter programming against the AEW. It happens so many times. I wouldn't be surprised for them to do something like that. Matter of fact, we are getting a comment here saying that AEW should do a pay-per-view in April in New Orleans in 2027. Felipe Peralta, US 1ZC. I agree with that. They should just go out
Yeah.
and do it, Jack, without a doubt. Without a doubt. That's what I would do.
They
So,
need to lean into it. Mhm.
yeah. So once again, I think AEW just amazing. And I'll be honest with you, if you watched AEW on Sunday, but on Saturday, the day before, you watched the AAA, the best thing, and I'll be honest with you, like, as much as we like to criticize what the WWE is doing, they're doing some tremendous stuff on the other side, below the border here in Mexico. AAA, Undertaker running it, and they just very smartly, for the American audience, they made Rey Mysterio Jr.
Yeah.
the brand new general manager, and of course he's got tremendous history there. And I think they picked the right person. And the one thing when you watch AAA, it's like so old school. It's traditional lucha libre that they're taking place every single week. And I love the fact that you don't have to scramble to try to find it. It's for free on the YouTube page for the WWE, kind of like how the pay-per-view is going to be on Saturday, and we'll talk about that in a couple of seconds. But like, I watched the AAA, the 1 hour broadcast. Savio Vega is doing the play-by-play, the translating. But if you're a fan, and that's the thing that what I was just thinking about was that AEW is just those guys. They're just doing AAA stuff. When you take a look at it, the style of wrestling is so similar between AAA and AEW, and I just think it's amazing, Jack.
I agree with you there. It's so funny because, WWE has AAA and AEW has their partnership, their on-again, off-again partnership with CMLL, which I think is really cool to see, too. And you're right, you hit the nail on the head. AAA just feels old school, man. You look into the crowd, you still hear the noisemakers, the air horns, the crowd. It's just there's a different buzz when you're watching a AAA event. Both AAA and CMLL, both those companies, dude, that's really a big part of wrestling too, is those corporations, those companies.
So since and I love the fact that they do all the vignettes and all the video packages, and hard to believe that Undertaker is one of the main guys running AAA. Yeah. I mean, but like I said, wrestling is all the same. It just depends where you're at. So let's talk about this. Of course, AAA Noches de los Grandes. It's going to happen on Saturday, or like I said, it's going to be available on YouTube, the WWE's YouTube channel. So I guess the biggest question going in is which Grande Americano is going to lose the mask. And by the way, before we get to that, the current, not the OG Grande Americano, is going to be able to be out there. Talking about Mr. Kaiser, that of course we all saw what happened last week and crazy stuff that led up to that fight. But when you disrespect somebody's girl, hey, what do you expect? I'm curious to see when all this goes to court, Jack.
There's a lot going on with that match. There's a lot going on with Kaiser personally, because as many know that, he was arrested for for battery, and correct. Now that the whole story's coming out, you got people actually defending Kaiser, like what was it this guy said? How did he make a match? I was listening to Eric Bischoff's podcast, and Bischoff is like, well, if this were the old days, really nothing would have happened.
Yeah, exactly.
More questions would have been asked. What was it that was said? Because he's just not going to go and punk somebody out. He's just not going to go and do that without reasoning. So is this going to affect the outcome now between the two Grande Americanos? I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And from what we hear, the reports, the guy, like I said, we don't know until the video comes out, until it goes to court. But apparently he said something towards his girlfriend, and of course his girlfriend is one of the commentators for AAA, or one of the Spanish commentators there for the WWE. So I think the OG Grande Americano should lose it, because I mean they've run with this story long enough, and this should have been a WrestleMania match. But I love the fact that it's still happening in AAA, because those guys are very popular, the current guys right now. And, the funny thing is when you listen to the broadcast, Bradshaw and Corey, they're just like talking about like they're really German guys underneath the mask, but throwing like little hits that maybe they eat schnitzel and stuff like that. I love it. So I think they're the ones that he should win the match. Yeah. And the OG Grande Americano can finally come back. And even though he's like on American TV, he hasn't been without a mask, and I don't even know how long, and now they can move him on to something else. At least that's what I think, Jack.
I agree. I mean, you can't. The smart bet and the money would be not to derail a train that is just picking up so much steam. You listen to Ludwig Kaiser speak Spanish, dude. That guy's Spanish is better than mine. He's better than a lot of people's Spanish that I know, dude. So. I mean, his connection with the audience is amazing.
And if I can go a little bit old school on this show, he has all the Scotty Ronson Spanish words down packed, like "Órale, güey," "Que onda, güey," "Que quieres, güey," "No mames, güey." All that stuff is just, and honestly, I think that's the reason why all the Mexican Lucha Libre fans are gravitating to him, because of what he's doing, And it's comical, and I love the fact that everybody loves that. So that's going to happen on Saturday. We'll have Fonzie come in a couple of seconds, but we do have to talk about The Raw recap from yesterday. Before we get to that, on Saturday night's main event, you had Logan Paul got injured and tore his tricep, so he's going to be gone for at least a couple of months. And
Yes.
I hope he has a good recovery. He's in tremendous shape. I think his brother's going to be in town this week, of course, for the Stephanie Hahn, Holly Holm fight that's going to happen this Saturday at the Coliseum. We'll play a commercial about that here in a couple of seconds. So Logan Paul is sidelined for a couple of months there, and so they announced that they're going to make Braun Breaker the tag team champion with them. But what they did with Austin Theory yesterday, for me, was kind of like a fresh breath of air there, Jack, because I thought what he exactly needed that. He kind of had to show everybody that he was still a badass. At least that's how I saw it.
Yeah. First off, speedy recovery to Logan Paul because, dude, the tricep is, you look at that. The tricep is the biggest part of of the arm. People think it's the bicep.
No, it's not the
it's
bicep.
the tricep. So
It's
when
the
you
tricep.
tear that thing, dude, when that thing comes off, dude, you got to get that reattached. Hopefully, he doesn't end up like a Paul Orndorff injury. Because if you remember, Paul Orndorff had a terrible bicep tear that he never got fixed, and you saw that in his arm much later in his career. So hopefully Logan Paul gets the proper surgery done for that arm, because man, that tricep, again, taking up 3/4 of your arm, that's a heavy duty injury, man. So speedy recovery to him. I just want to
give us the demonstration once again of the three heads of the tricep there.
So
there you go.
It's the horseshoe.
The horseshoe here. Then you got the long part.
Then you got the long part. You got the short end.
Yep.
He tore about this part right there.
Yeah.
Of the tricep. So
yeah.
Speedy recovery. Thank you for that.
And by the way, if there's going to be any part of this show that's going to be clipped and made a short, that's going to be it. Jack demonstrating the tricep injury. Remember, Cena had a tricep injury a long time ago, and he actually recovered very quickly, which is something unheard of. So, but back to Austin Theory, I thought that the way they used him was a tremendous way. Kind of, like I said, he kind of got rejuvenated. And then they finally teased that Maxime Dupree is going to go with him after all the months where they would show them talking in the background. So I like to see that that's going on. Overall, your thoughts on Raw this past from last night, Jack?
One of my favorite segments was a non-wrestling segment, believe it or not. It was the contract signing and the promo between Roman and his cousin Jacob, dude, when they looked at each other in the face and they did the predator handshake there. They came in. I thought that was pretty cool, man. This is adding a lot of legitimacy to their feud. So I
think what's going to happen, whoever wins this match now, is, like I said, if Roman wins, then that means Jacob is going to have to follow the rules and acknowledge him. But I'm expecting that to be a tremendous match, and we'll get to the card itself. But I thought the video package that they had with Brock Lesnar was absolutely amazing. Where he gave his reasoning as to why he had retired. That he literally said that Oba kicked my ass, and I thought that was it. But then he was like, I can't go out like a punk. I got to come back. I thought it was great. One question I do have: if you're a fan of Liv Morgan, are you kind of disappointed that she's just coming up there? Kind of looks like a manager. She's the world champion, but she really hasn't done anything there, brother. When you take a look at it, with the Judgment Day, and I don't understand why they have. I know they're waiting for Stephanie to come back from injury, but I don't really understand why they haven't had her at least wrestle somebody. I know they had Sol Ruka the night after WrestleMania, but that's been it.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this too. When you have somebody that's a champion, that's automatic TV time. Automatic TV time whenever you hold a title. But you have somebody that is, the world champion. I think that it boils down to a booking decision. This is strictly a booking decision. You have to give her some time. You have to, feed her a job or something, for her to get some ring time, Monster. That's what I was just thinking that today.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jack, that they've got to do something with that situation with Liv Morgan. And like I said, they got the summer house shows coming up, and we are going to talk about the prices in your neck of the woods there, Jack, in Las Cruces, because I have them. I have them. The tickets went on sale last week, and we were confirmed. So, like, before we get into that, we are going to get into, but let me just say that the cheapest is $68, and the most expensive is $843. That is for a house show and Las Cruces. So we are going to talk about that here in a couple of minutes. But let's welcome in Fonzie. And of course, Fonzie's back for another week as he's joining us every single week. Fonzie, what's up, brother? How are you today?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How you guys doing today, man? I'm
Good,
doing
brother.
all right.
So, Fonzie, what's on your mind this week, bro? I know. Like we talked about it the other day, and you said that Stadium Stampede from AEW was without a doubt your favorite a part of AEW pay per view.
Man, that was a first. That was a great. I mean, it was a hell of an entertaining match that I could tell you, because it went all over the place, the back, the front, everywhere. The fans. I mean, you had everybody do their finishing moves there on somebody. But it was such an entertaining match that I really enjoyed it.
Yes, no doubt that
But
that
you
was
know what?
tremendous. Yes, sir.
I'll tell you, in that pay per view, my favorite match was the four women match that for the title there. I forget her name. It doesn't come to champ, but man, that was a hell of a
Yeah.
match. Yeah, you could tell the strong style of the Japanese wrestlers in that whole match, man. I'll tell you that. I
I
look forward.
agree.
Go ahead,
Hey,
Jack.
but let me go back to remind you guys from last week,
Okay,
because you all picked what's his name?
we
The
picked
little
Darby Allin to win. Yes.
Yeah, there you
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
Told you MJF was going to win. Told you. He wasn't going to lose that $1 million hair.
Yep.
I mean, because you guys are just jealous because, I'm the only one that's got hair.
Yeah, he's got
compared to
the Turkish implants, man. I don't think he's going to lose it anytime soon. Now Darby was, he was the safe bet because he just had so many title defenses, and I thought that maybe MJF was going to lose, maybe shave his head, go because of a movie, but he ended up winning, man. And here's the thing: I love being proven wrong because whenever I'm watching a show. And I say, as expected, as expected. This blew me away. This whole pay-per-view blew me away. And the main event absolutely just blew me away. Mondo and I were talking about how Darby nearly killed himself again
Oh,
with that
my Lord. Did you
suicide
see
punch.
that? I
Yeah.
did. Man, I was like, how did he get up from that? How
Yeah.
do you get up from all that stuff?
Yeah, when he came up the ring and it looked like MJF barely like touched him and he just landed wrong, and those are very scary things that he's doing, and maybe he needs to, like I said, we talked about it kind of. I heard him on Busted Radio, I think on Friday. He was actually live in the studio, and he was like, "Nope, I'm gonna keep doing my thing because that's what I do." But I mean, I wouldn't. Sometimes there's the tag where they call a wrestler transitional champion, and I don't think you can call Darby Allin a transitional champion because basically what it was, which is rare nowadays, is that the guy he beat the championship got his rematch, and then he lost the championship to him. So it's rare, kind of like in Clash of Italy. Like, we'll give WWE props that they're actually going to have the rematch between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. We haven't had one of those in a very long time, where the guy that won or woman that lost the championship gets the
Or
rematch.
not that
So
quick.
exactly.
Not that quick, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you look at Darby Allin, I think it was about a month, and like I said, month and a half, and every week, I think he proved to everybody that he could hold the championship for. I'll be honest with you. I think if MJF had like some other thing going on, like a movie or something like that, I think he would have been able to hold it for the entire summer and then not lose it until when they do their big show in London, I believe. I mean, that's just my thoughts.
So my question is now: does Darby get a rematch? Does Darby get one against MJF? And do we have a rubber match now for the world
Well,
championship?
well, what's his name betrayed him, so I think they're changing that focus on that avenue. I think they're getting away from MJF and Darby. Darby's going to be going against I can't remember his name. The gentleman that that frog splashed him on the stretcher.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Knight.
Night, there
The
you go.
Kevin
jet.
Knight.
The jet. So yeah,
Yeah.
I thought, like I said, without a doubt, worth the money. Worth the $50 or whatever it is.
Totally.
AEW old school. Like I said, we talked about it last week that it was going to be a long pay per view. Exactly what it was. About 4. If you do the buy-in, another hour of tremendous wrestling. Think about this: the WWE doesn't even do the buy-in matches anymore. They don't. They just have a 2-hour pre-show, which there's nothing wrong with that. But at least, I mean, I don't know how I feel. If I'm spending all that money to go to events and I'm only getting 5 caliber. I mean, they're going to be good matches. I think the Clash in Italy is a banger of a pay-per-view. Every single match has the potential of being good. All of them, even the Real Ripley
They all
one.
should be good. Yes.
Yeah, I think this for me, I was very impressed that they put this together, and I'm thinking they probably had to because of what happened with the WrestleMania. Backlash was pretty good. So let's talk about these ticket prices, gentlemen, before I kind of lose my train
boy.
of thoughts. Okay, so the WWE is coming to Las Cruces July the 11th, which, by the way, is a Saturday, which, by the way, is the same day that Conor McGregor is making his day return to the UFC. I know you went like that, Jack, like who cares, but I wonder how many people will not go to the WWE because Conor McGregor is going to be coming back. I'll be honest with you, gentlemen, these ticket prices aren't helping. So here it is. So the prices, the cheapest is $68. The most expensive is $843. This is for a house show in Las Cruces. This really doesn't make sense to me that why there's a seat that's $843 when they have a VIP package that's $786. And that's the VIP package. So this is what the VIP package gets you in the house show in Las Cruces, July the 11th. This is literally what it said when I clicked on Ticketmaster. More information on the VIP. It says the best seats in the house, plus a meet and greet with WWE superstars. Doesn't tell you which one. If you're meeting Cody, if you're meeting Roman, if you're meeting CM Punk, who knows? It's worth it. If you're meeting Rhea, it's worth it. But you just you don't know who you're gonna meet, right? It says meeting.
You're gonna meet Otis.
Hey, actually, that'd be pretty fun. Something tells me Otis would be a cool dude to meet, and he'd probably make you laugh, dude. I think that'd be great. So you get that. You also get, and this is the one where I start laughing. So the meet and greet with the superstars, I think that's pretty damn cool, because we talked to Paul David Oliver 2 weeks ago where he did all that at WrestleMania, and he was spending like $200 per person. But these are the ones. This next stuff I'm gonna tell you, that's the stuff that makes me laugh. You get a limited edition official WWE program. It's official, y'all. You get a WWE branded clear drawstring bag. Let me say that again. You get a WWE branded clear drawstring bag.
You can make one for $10.
Correct. And then you get a WWE branded mini marker. So I'm assuming I'm assuming it's like that, and it just has the WWE logo. That's what I'm thinking. And then you get an autograph, a WWE superstar 8x10 photo. And once again, it doesn't say which one, but the one thing I will say about the 8x10 photos, you know that the wrestler really did sign it, because we've seen video of the guys and girls are signing the video all the time.
Where
So
they got stacks of them where they're signing.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Where you just see John Cena just signing. Boom, 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 boom.
okay, so those are the ticket prices, and I'll be honest with you, I checked this is on Friday when I checked. I know Tony got tickets. I think Andy told us last week that his brother Tony got, I think it was like 150, was not on the floor. So here's the question I have for everybody.
Okay.
Do you think this is going to sell out? I mean, the cheap. I think the cheap seats will sell out, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know how they can justify spending for having a family. This is just one ticket, $786 for one ticket, or the $843. Yeah, it's Las Cruces. It's not like you guys are rolling in money, not even in El Paso too. This is
Yeah.
not BTS. What do you think? Give me your
Dude, let
thoughts,
me tell
Jack.
you something.
We'll
Las
start with
Cruces
Jack
hates to
first.
pay. Dude, Las Cruces hates to pay tickets for a car wash. I mean, what makes you think that you're going to pay $800 for front row? You're going to probably. This is one of those cases where a few things may happen here, where some seats might be empty, and they may bring some people down to the front, down maybe to the floor. That has happened a few times before. That's actually happened many times. Whenever you have, a house show or any sort of show, they'll bring people further in. So with the house show cameras that they have, they can make it look like there are people, scattered about and filled up.
Fonzie, your
Correct.
So
thoughts?
My thoughts, man. I mean, if you're looking at even at the cheap seats, if I was to go for three, you're looking at $210. $210, man. You don't even get that for football. You know,
yeah,
I could go to an Oklahoma game and get great seats for that price for family of three, just a family of three. But think about it. I mean, if this was a Raw or a SmackDown, I could see those prices happen.
Well, let
yeah,
me
because
bring
you have
let me
people
let,
from
let,
all over. So,
let me stop you guys there now. Is it
yeah,
really worth it on Monday Night Raw? They're in Columbus, right? Columbus, Ohio. This
They
past
were in
yesterday,
Columbus.
last past 24 hours. I mean, think about it. You had a couple of matches. You have a lot of interview segments. I guess since I haven't been to a Monday Night Raw in a very long time, like we didn't get to do the Rio Rancho one, which is the closest one that we had here. I know Albert said that is going to the one. He's going to one that's kind of close by, our area. I think it's in July or something like that. I'll have to ask him because do they
Wasn't it like
do
Rodesto or something like that?
something like that?
Midland?
Do they do do they still do dark matches before they go on? Do they do a match after they go off the air? Because that's one of the things that draws you into when Raw or SmackDown is at in your city, because when they go off TV, they still do some more stuff. So I
Right.
don't really know, but I mean, even what they're charging for a Monday Night Raw, think about it, like, I mean, Monday Night Raw every single week, you know how it's going to end. It's just going to be a talking segment. That's how it's been since before WrestleMania. That's how it's been since after WrestleMania. I mean, we saw it yesterday, even though it was kind
Here's the
of
thing.
cool, but still.
It's been like this since they went to Netflix.
Well, not every single
It's been like,
match, but they have
but
done
their
it a lot.
endings, yeah, yeah, their endings have been ending like that. I think a lot of it has to deal with Netflix, um, because now we don't get engaged to finish shows like we used to.
yeah,
Just to think about what I mean, we used to have the crazy stuff happen at the end. I was like, you caught the best part. Now the best parts are either the very beginning of the show or middle of the show. But at the end, it's not. uh, To, I'll say yesterday with Roman and Fatu out there, that was a different vibe that I felt
Yeah,
yeah.
it
watching
felt
Raw.
different, and that, Jack,
Yes.
that's what you pointed out. But let me just say this, because it's starting to remind me of the way WCW Nitro went on the downfall. Because remember, they had 3 hours, and they would the
So,
first segment they would hype up the main event, and
yeah,
then when it was main event time, it was not even 5 minutes long.
yeah. It
They
would do
think
a cold ending or a DQ.
yeah,
Yeah,
and so like the thing you hyped up the most, it was only 5 minutes. So I don't know. Like I said, I am getting kind of tired that every single time it's a talking segment to end it. But we'll see what happens. I think the pay per view is going to be pretty good. And on Sunday, by the way, on Sunday. What else did you want to bring up there, Fonzie, before we move on, brother?
Let's talk about let's talk about let's talk. We were talking earlier in regards to how the game has changed. WWE's changed. You're talking about how it's looking like WCW. A lot of things have changed over time. I don't know if the competition is making it any better or any different. The wrestlers are different. I mean, even the fans. Okay, I even looked at the AEW pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Through the match, we grew up in an era where all the fans were going crazy practically throughout the matches, especially the main events, the big matches. You had the fans going crazy. It was always, and what I was seeing in AEW, you had some quiet matches. They were cheering on the high spots, but it's just I think today's fans is just different because I think the internet has killed it in a way. The dirt sheets and all that stuff, I think, has changed the way fans look at wrestling, and I don't know, it'll never go back to what it was. And I think sometimes we always refer back to the glory years, the attitude years, which were always great. I mean, and we us old guys want that back, but I don't think we'll ever get that back.
I don't know if I wanted to go back to like that. Jack, I'll let you respond, which is a very good assessment there, Fonzie. Jack, your thoughts what Fonzie
very
just broke
interesting
down.
observation. Yeah, it's a very interesting observation. And the fact that, crowds have changed, more or less, better or worse. I think the AEW crowd is so vastly different from the WWE crowd, right out of the gate. I'll give you an example. When you have somebody on AEW cutting a promo, you don't have, these guys going, what? That's still the worst thing. That is still the worst thing when watching WWE TV is that anytime somebody gives a promo or somebody's talking, you got some jackholes just going, what? And as far as like high spots and people being rowdy and, just being super energetic too, the AEW crowd also there's a big similarity to the New Japan crowd. When you watch wrestling in New Japan, they don't cheer for every spot. They don't cheer. They're not like super rowdy, but when there's a high spot, when there is a dramatic spot, they either cheer or they
take it serious, like if it's a real sport out there. They take it and they show respect. Yep.
And there's some very, there's some spots in AEW and in New Japan that are very similar where, it's you could call it a quiet spot, but I would call them intense spots.
Yeah. All right, Fonzie, I appreciate you, brother, and we'll do it again next week. All right, brother.
All right, fellas.
Take it
Catch
easy,
you out.
Fonzie. There you go. I like how he punches the screen afterwards. First of all, Flip was let me go back to
What did we get?
So Flip says that AEW should do a pay-per-view. We did that one. I Am the Game says that I believe that's a Lance. If you've seen Raw any week, it's basically the same show and repeat. That's basically how it is. Here's right. Flip. Flip is back. He said, I went to the Monday Night Raw in San Antonio, March the 16th, and there were 2 dark matches before Raw. So that is from Flip. Domingo Moya. Hello, gentlemen. How are you all doing? And then Lance is back. Says, Double or Nothing was a very good show. Nice to see MJF back on top. Yes, Jack, you were going to say.
My question is this, man. The guy that went to the Raw show in San Antonio.
Mr. Flip.
If people are expected to pay $800 for a house show, how much was the Raw show? I'd like to know how much people are paying for Raw. I think SmackDown's less, but I'd like to know what a Raw show, especially in a big city like San Antonio, like what are you paying? And what were the front row seats? Dude, the fact that you're paying pay-per-view money for a house show nowadays is asinine. It's obscene.
And think about it, that's March 16th, so that's a couple of weeks before WrestleMania. So that means that was a span. I'm not sure. That's a span where CM Punk was on every single show. I'm not sure if Roman, because there was a span where there was maybe 1 or 2 weeks that Roman wasn't there, and it was Punk by himself. But CM Punk was there, talking segment at the very end of Monday Night Raw. So Flip, if you can, please let us know what Jack is asking. How much did you spend for these tickets, and in your opinion, was it worth it? You can do that.
And I got a question for you, Mando. For you, Monster.
Bring it, brother.
Do you want to go? Do you want to go to the house show, brother?
Yeah, I want to go to the house show. Of course, I want to go. But I'm the type that maybe because I mean I'm just saying because we've been to so many events, that this is gonna sound very bad when I say this. I don't need to be front row. I just kind of like
Right.
when we're younger, we needed to be front row. We needed
I
to
don't
like
think we're
it
gonna
is
go
it is
into
it is
front row.
it is what it is. Like we can't afford front
Yeah.
row at all at all.
Yeah.
When it was back in the day when this show was in its peak, 20 years ago, whatever, we would
No,
get
we
the
were
tickets.
front row.
We would get the tickets for free. So it was kind of like a given, and then we would try to do stuff to bring attention to ourselves, but like in a good way. Like we'd have the Slammin banner, we talk to the people, there. But yeah, but no, I
Well,
mean,
they
I do want to
definitely
go, but
noticed us when we were there.
I don't yeah I don't need to, the last time the WWE came, the last two times actually, they came. I think I was like maybe roll like say like the Haskins Center, like let's say like maybe roll 24 or whatever it was. I was
Yeah.
happy with that. The last time they literally came, 2 years, three. I think it's gonna be 3 years ago because Cody wasn't the champion yet. It was. When you walk out of the tunnel from the Don Haskins, and there was literally the first roll right after that, and I was happy there. So I don't need.
Yeah.
I just like being there for the environment. I don't need to be there front row. But like again, Darren Damn T, I ain't gonna spend no $800 on a house show. I mean, if it was like I said, if it was WrestleMania, maybe. If it was a SummerSlam, maybe. If it was one of the major pay-per-views, maybe. I'm gonna show you why I'm laughing right now. So let me go back to some of the comments. So Domingo says, while MJF being a champion again helps the product, should Darby Allin had a longer title run? And that's what we're talking about. That's what I was. That's honestly, Jack. I think that's one of the reasons why me and you thought that Darby was going to win, because he was doing such a great job of being the champion, defending it every week. I love when the guys do that. Like we said, we talk about Penta, we talked about CM Punk doing it when he was the champion. So that's a very good point by Diego. Now Lance says that I'll wait for TNA in December. And guarantee you, we talked about Andy front row tickets. It was a pay-per-view. This time when TNA is coming to El Paso, December the 17th and 18th, it'll be for the Impact, Thursday Night Impact, which I believe is live. And then it'll be I think they're going to tape for the previous week. So this is why I was laughing. Are you ready for this? This is what Lance says.
I'm ready.
I remember Jack dressed like the Ultimate Warrior at one of the house shows. And right now, Jack, you should just put damn face paint on right now. You're halfway there.
Speak to me. Speak to me, Lance. Yeah. I was about 140 pounds. I put the face paint on, and then I got up on top of the chair, and people started booing me. People started
that.
booing me. And
It
the
was
head
awesome.
of security's like, sit down.
I remember
Sit
that.
down.
It was pretty
Yeah.
awesome. I also remember that event because that's when we saw Randy Orton for the first time in person and realized how big he was in person. Derek chimes in and he says, this is a very good point. Very good point. Titles rarely change at a house show, so why pay $800 for that? That's a very, very good point. Titles are going to be on the line. I mean, I guess that's the reason why I have a problem with it being so expensive, because it's like this. And let me just be honest. I mean, when you go to a house show compared to a pay-per-view or a televised event, house shows are more fun for the wrestlers because they get to interact more with the fans. What I mean is that, yeah, they have like maybe 15 minutes to go out there and do their thing, but they don't have to be on a time or a crunch like, hey, at the 5-minute mark, we're gonna take a break. So remember, you got to do this spot or whatever. So they kind of like let go, let the hair loose, so to say. And they like it's kind of like when you go to an independent show, where like the wrestlers are yelling at the grandma or yelling at the old guy there, and they get in their face, what are you doing, and stuff like, So I mean, house shows are more fun. Honestly, house shows are more fun than when it's a televised event. But still, $800 is a lot of money, man, without a doubt.
Yeah, you're paying pay-per-view prices for a house show. And again, it's very rare when you see something happen, like something like a title change, or maybe someone's mother having a heart attack in the ring, and then they have to carry them out.
I remember how Matt Hurricane Hector, he's talking about the Eddie Guerrero storyline. I think it was it John Cena No, it was Bradshaw. It was a JBL.
Yeah.
And I remember that because we were sitting like say we're sitting right here, me and Jack, and then at the corner of the ring, that's where Hurricane Hector was at. Shout out to my boy Hurricane Hector and Eddie's mom, and they did that, and I thought Hector was gonna like literally like go over and just destroy JBL. It was pretty awesome to see.
Two things. I still had people come up to me and tell me, "Oh man, I saw you and Mando on the Eddie Guerrero DVD."
Yeah,
at the house."
that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So Flip is back, and he says he paid $260 for 2 tickets, upper level. So that would be kind of like the $68 mark that we had here, and see. So that's $130 a piece. You know, I mean. Monday Night Raw, like leading up to WrestleMania. Lance chimes in. Hector was ready to snap. I remember that. So, so back to Flip. $260 for like. I think honestly that I'd be okay with that. You know, because it's all the WrestleMania hype. It's the build up. So that, I'm okay with that. You know, but that's $260. So that's $130 for Monday Night Raw. 1 ticket. You know, I mean front row for a house show. Like I said. The picture has Cody Rhodes. Let me bring up. I'm not going to be able to bring up the picture so you can see it, but I do have it saved on the phone. Actually, I can do that. Let me take it back, Jack. I do have the technology where we do it live, and I show you the picture that is that they had on the when the tickets went on sale when I first posted about it. It is a summer tour super show. It's just a summer tour fest. Let me.
This makes me want to give the number out for people to call.
Yeah, but see, there's no number to call. There's no longer numbers to call. So there it is. There is that is the beauty of live. Yeah. So there is the we'll put it over my face because everybody's used to what I look like. So this is what it looks like. It is. You want me to make it bigger, Jack? So you can see it. Okay, so you got Cody, you got Seth, you got Trick Williams, you got Rhea Ripley, you got McIntyre, who has not been on TV, but who knows what happens this past this Sunday. Then you had Jade Cargill, and then you got basically the most popular guy right now in Obafemi. If Oba wrestles here in Las Cruces, that entrance alone is gonna be amazing, Jack. Just for everybody to do the well, I got to put you.
Oba's entrance.
Yeah, Obi. Yeah. So yeah, there you go, with a double bicep pose, brother. So yeah, so that's the card that So that's so far, but like if you do the meet and greet, if you can meet any of those, like if you get to meet Rhea, Cody. Yeah. Maybe Oba. I mean, for the hardcore diehard, it's like we talked about last week. Actually, I take it back. I brought this up on the radio on. By the way, we haven't done the shameless plugs here since week 1. So, Jack, do your shameless plug where people can listen to you and the Las Cruces airwaves.
Please, you can tune in every morning on KMBR. Rock 104.9, that is 104.9, every weekday from Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then I go right down the hall to 101 Gold, that's KVLC 101.1 FM. That is classic hits from 10 a to 2 p, Bravo Mike Radio station.
.com. And you can hear my sport on the radio. You can hear my sports report with Johnny Cage in the morning match on now they're called Mix 92.7. And the reason why I did that is because that's why I brought it up, because I brought up these ticket prices on the air on Friday morning, and when they told me, well, why are they doing this, and this is why I brought it up. I don't think I did it here on the program, is that this is how the WWE is thinking, is that it's maybe a once in a year, maybe a once in a 2-year event for families. And the biggest way I can kind of compare this to is if you go to an NFL football game. And of course, a lot of people in this area, The Dallas Cowboys are a very popular team, or it could be the San Francisco 49ers. It could be the Las Vegas Raiders. It could
Los
be the
Raiders.
Philadelphia. It could be the Philadelphia Eagles. It could be the New England Patriots. The bottom line, what I'm trying to say is that if you're a super fan or just a casual fan, well, like a real fan of this team, so like if you go to Dallas, you have no problem paying $200 for a ticket that you got on the whatever the app is, where they sell the tickets, SeatGeek. And I'm telling you, because that's the last time I got tickets. That's why I got them, was on SeatGeek. And I think they're like maybe $250 a pop. And that was at the very top of the stadium. But you know what? Hey, but you know what? Like, I don't, honestly, I mean, I know the Cowboys play every week. I know the Raiders play every week, when the NFL is going on for 16 weeks, but realistically, how many times am I going to be able to go out there and watch them live and in person at the stadium? Like I said, when am I going to go to LA to watch the Rams? When am I going to go to San Francisco to watch the 49ers? That's what they're banking on. That it's like a kind of like a once in every 2-3 years experience for you. So you're not going to mind taking your family, and you're not going to mind spending all this crazy amount of money, because when was the last time they came here in our area? It was about maybe 3 years ago, right? Or was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was about 2 years ago. Yeah. Well, when they came to Las Cruces, as a matter of fact, there was something that you were talking about. It's something that made me realize something. Something that we have today that we didn't have back then. I mean, we all know. Look, if you wanted to spend some money, you would put it on a credit card. But something that is available now to everybody is, dude, you can put these tickets. You can put these $800 tickets on your Affirm count. And I hate to bring that. I'm not advertising that, but dude, it's just so, I don't know if you've heard about this. I don't know if you've seen it.
I
dude,
have not. You've
like,
seen my face. What is that?
Right. So Affirm it's like Klarna when you go on eBay.
It's like
this,
what?
There's two of them, Affirm and Klarna.
Okay.
It's basically, it's like a credit card. You put money on it and you pay it over time. So you have a lot of people do that these days, and it just really it struck me right now, and I'm thinking that you hear about this, you see about it, that people are able to go to these shows. Well, that's because they're putting it on on these accounts that they're just paying it over time. Yeah, Klarna. So,
Yeah, that is Lance chiming in. And Domingo comes up with a good question. How much do you think the cost would be to host Saturday night's main event at the Don Haskins Center? I think it'd be more expensive than the house show, because one,
absolutely.
it's a televised event. Once it's a televised event, it's going to be way higher, even though you'd be getting basically the same wrestlers, and you'd have some couple of matches there.
Right. There's also sub levels to that. If you were to have a Saturday night's main event, I mean, before any of the big four, I don't think they would be that expensive. But if you had a Saturday night's main event leading up to a WrestleMania or a Royal Rumble, I think the tickets would be astronomical.
And Lance is back, and it says that Klarna works. That's how I got my ticket to see America versus FC Juarez.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, dude, you can pay. Dude, Klarna works with so many things. Klarna and Affirm. I mean, dude, you can go to a sunglasses store. You can go to the Ray-Ban store at either here in Las Cruces or in El Paso. Dude, you can put your Ray-Bans on an Affirm account and pay that over time.
So it's kind of like layaway, basically, but a different version.
It's a glorified layaway. That's exactly what it is.
Okay, so back to back to what I was talking about, how the WWE wants you to kind of treat this like, and like I said, I used the NFL as an example because that's a good example. Like whatever your favorite team is, whether it be, like I said, the Raiders, the Rams, the 49ers, the Patriots, whatever. Like I said, if you're 49er fans, if you're more like if you're some of the East Coast team fans like the Steelers, you're spending a lot of money there, the flights, the hotel, the tickets is the least of your worries. So the one thing is that the WWE, I would think that they're thinking about is, hey, you know what? Like they're not gonna have to travel anywhere. They're coming to their hometown. So like, let's see. So Domingo says he paid $400 to go to Glendale, that's Arizona, for the Cowboys and Cardinals, and a couple of years later to see the Seahawks and Cowboys in Arlington via Los Paisanos party bus. Shout out to David who runs that. So I'm thinking that's the reason why they're doing that, and then, but the bottom line, Jack, is, as we talked about it, if people continue to pay those prices, they're not gonna stop
Right.
until like maybe 2 weeks before the event or maybe the week of that. There's a lot of empty seats close to the ring, unless they're gonna put them on a big discount, and then like for some lucky person that spent like maybe like $150, like, hey, would you like to be in the first 2 rows, 3 rows, because we don't want it to look that empty.
That happens. That
Yeah.
absolutely happens.
So it's crazy to see that's where we're at right now when it comes to the WWE. Of course, AEW is not that expensive. We talked about TNA is not that expensive, like I said, and that's why we love to promote local independent wrestlers, wrestling here, because we talk about PLW. They're only like $10, for the events. I know there's a couple of events this happened on this weekend, so it's crazy to see. So let's talk about the now that we bashed them for the last 20 minutes, how much expensive they are.
Please, let's get free tickets.
Let's talk about Clash in Italy. First of all, here comes Robert. What's up, my brothers? Next PLE in my place. It's almost done. There you go. I'll bring the protein shakes. Nice and healthy there. So Clash in Italy. First of all, it's at noon, El Paso, Las Cruces time. This Mount Standard Time. It's at noon because it's in Italy. Excuse me. SmackDown is, you're gonna have to wake your ass up early if you're
That's
gonna
what I
want
was
to watch
gonna say,
SmackDown. Yeah. So SmackDown will be spoiled if you don't want to know what's gonna happen. They'll hit the internet. But Clash in Italy is at high noon. So like I said, I'm very curious to see what time it's actually taking place there in Italy, because we talked about the Rumble, that it was like, and I'm just going off by what you talked about, Jack, that Roman Reigns, where they followed him around, that little documentary that they did, and they showed the clock, and it was like 2 a.m. by the time the Rumble actually started. Maybe that's one of the reasons why the damn place looked empty, is because it was like 3 in the morning by the time that thing finished, I'm very curious to see how they're going to do a WrestleMania. So here you go with our picks and predictions for Clash in Italy, high noon. And by the way, the first hour is once again on ESPN, and they did it for WrestleMania, and they're doing it again, and they're going to start it off with the first match they did at WrestleMania that Sunday. That's Brock versus Oba. So a lot of debate here with Brock versus Oba. I love the fact that Brock is back. He kind of got his revenge on Oba Femi. So I would think that Brock Lesnar wins this match. But I guess the question is, I have 2 questions for you, Jack, and for everybody that's on the comments. The first question I have is, does Brock win? Does he destroy him when he wins? Or 2, does Obi beat him, or does Oba beat him and then Brock Lesnar retires again?
I mean, what's the payoff here? What is the big picture? You got Brock coming back. I think this had to do with the TKO thing, that he wasn't really happy with maybe the deal that he got. He's like, well, to heck with it. I'm going to retire in the ring. And then, nobody knew about that. And I think, okay, let's renegotiate something here. Let's have you come back. Let's pay you a certain dollar amount. So I think if they're going to be keeping Brock around, if they're going to be doing this, if they're paying him more, I think Brock will win this match between Oba. I think he'll win the rematch. I don't think he's going to do it convincingly. I think it's going to be like that first match between Roman and Jacob. I don't think Roman's going to beat him. He didn't beat him. He survived him. So I think Brock is going to survive Oba in this match. Again, I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong in this case.
Robert chimes in, says Brock does not need to win. I mean, he doesn't, but still, like, he can't go like a Punk 2 pay-per-views in a row. That's how I look at it. That's like you said, Jack, when we first started talking about this, when we first started the show, I think you're trying to set up the rubber match at SummerSlam. SummerSlam's going to be there in Minnesota, don't you know? That's, by the way, that's a Ronsonism there. Yeah. Shout out to my boy, rest in peace, Scotty Ronson. So, yeah, I think... I think like there's one of these things where you can bet. I can't remember. It's called I don't know what it's called. Where it's not called betting. It's called like whatever it is, like stock option, whatever it is. It's one of the here. Let me look for it. Because it's you can
What are you talking? DraftKings? What are you talking about?
that's something like that. It's what the it's Kalish, Kalshi, you know, Kalshi,
Yeah.
whatever. It's like a betting thing. I'd be more for me if I was a betting man. I'd be betting to see how long this match actually is. Over under 5 minutes. That for me, that's what I would be betting on.
Brock can't go over 5 minutes anymore. So
I think it's going to be a more intense match that we saw at WrestleMania, but I do believe Brock Lesnar is going to go over. By the way, Domingo is back, and it says the year WWF came to El Paso, Hulk Hogan came. Wrestling Challenge was televised prior to WrestleMania 5. He says he won tickets answering a trivia question on KDBC Channel 4. Him and Lance had a blast. I saved up money to buy tickets to this event, and I guarantee you it was only maybe $50, and we're on the floor, and I took my brother, and the reason why I remember this is because the fabulous Rougeau brothers were wrestling, and remember their finisher is one that they one will get on the top rope. The Rougeau brothers were really not popular at that time. They're bad guys. So if you're watching WWE Superstars, when they get up to do the finisher, you can see somebody in the back steps up and takes a picture. That's me. That was me. It took the picture a long time ago. So yeah, that's old school. Yeah. Speaking of Edge and Christian there, so that's the first hour. So that means we got to talk about the other match that's going to be in the first hour for the pay-per-view, which is, by the way, going to be free on ESPN. It's funny when people say it's free on ESPN. You still got to pay for ESPN. ESPN is not free. But anyways, so the first hour is going to be broadcast on ESPN. The second match of that first hour is going to be Cody versus Gunther. And a lot of people are upset about this because it kind of spoils that Gunther's not going to win. But I'm laughing because Lance was like, "That was you?" Like, bro, you don't remember, dog. You know. Anyways,
Cody and Gunther.
Cody versus Gunther. You know, so Brock and Oba, let's say realistically goes about 20 minutes because of the entrances alone. Really, Oba be like 5 minutes getting to the ring. Brock will be the same thing. Match takes about another 5 minutes. You know, then who knows what happens afterwards. It'd be surprising if you see Randy Orton come out or something like that. Cody versus Gunther. Speaking of Randy Orton, does Randy Orton come out in Cody versus Gunther? We haven't seen him since the end of WrestleMania. So WWE Championship is on the line. The first hour of the pay-per-view, Jack. Who do you got, Cody versus Gunther?
Okay, again, the payoff here. I'm thinking, do they give that away for free? Free? You know, like you said, you got to pay for ESPN. Do they have a title change? Do they have that overseas? Do they have a big shock? Mondo, I'm gonna go with my gut here and say Gunther over Cody.
I think it would be awesome if Gunther wins the championship. I think that would motivate Cody to be kind of. Well, I brought up Randy Orton, but of course I forgot to mention how kind of Sami Zayn kind of turned heel on Friday when he turned his back on Cody Rhodes. So I'm thinking if Gunther does win it, maybe Sami Zayn has something to do with it. But I like you, Jack. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing Gunther win the championship because it's something different. I mean, I know they can have the rematch at SummerSlam, or maybe they can make it a 3-way at SummerSlam. You know, they just announced the King of the Ring is going to happen. You know, LA Knight, good to see him back on TV. You still got so many pay-per-views going on. Obviously, King of the Ring is in June, and then I don't know which is the one in July. They'll throw in the Clash of Champions in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Gunther win that match. So Derek is back and he says Gunther over Cody, but in a no contest to set up for SummerSlam. So I think something like that is believable there. So
notice I said Gunther over Cody. I didn't say how.
Exactly. And also, I mean, it'd be great to see. It'd be kind of like when McIntyre finally won the championship. I mean, they did it honestly about 3 months too late, but McIntyre winning the championship. So then you have the women's Intercontinental Championship match: Sol Ruca versus Becky Lynch. This has been going on back and forth, and reports are that Ruca might be injured. I'm not really sure, but we talked about it, Jack, for the last couple of weeks, that finishing maneuver, she's really been kind of missing it the past couple of Monday Night Raws, and that's a very dangerous spot. It's a very dangerous spot, but nonetheless, as much as I like to see Sol Ruca win this one, I think Becky Lynch has got to win this. I don't think Sol is there yet to upset Becky Lynch. Your thoughts?
I agree with you, and I was just reading earlier today. Sol needs a new finisher. She needs a new finisher. She needs to figure it out. And like you said, I don't think she's ready yet. She will be soon. I don't think now is the time. I think Becky's going to retain.
I agree with you there. So then we go to the women's, the WWE Women's Championship. It is going to be a rematch of WrestleMania. Jade Cargill gets a rematch against the Campeon, Rhea Ripley. Rhea's going to win this match. That's pretty much easy for me to say. I mean, I don't think there's no way Rhea Ripley is going to lose this match. By the way, Biggie Styles is joining us. There's my man, fellas, otherwise known as Ed Carnathan, but he's Biggie Styles. I mean, you remember Big Ed there. I know you see him time from time there in your city there,
of course.
Jack.
I remember a nice little local show that we did, and Biggie Styles grabbed me by my vest, and he ripped the back of my vest. Yeah, I'll never forget that. Yep. So,
and of course, shout out to his old tag team partner JC Hendricks, otherwise known as Brandon. You know, I mean, you're not gonna get mad, but I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. So I see. I mean, I'd be more shocked if Jade Cargill won the championship. Compared to Sol Ruca, you know, I'd be like, I think there's no way you take the title off Rhea.
All right, I'm gonna say Jade wins, just for the sake of argument.
No, but here's the thing: she wins with the title, or she wins like by disqualification or something. You're saying Jade's gonna get the championship.
All right, let me do a very hot take here. I'm gonna say Jade wins the title. Jade wins the title.
All right, there's nothing wrong with that. Robert is back. Kayfabe baby, man. Kayfabe man. Man, it's been like 20 years, dog. You know, the last time I saw Brandon was at the movie theater down the street here. It was when they had it wasn't Clerks, or when they did the Jane Silent Bob movie. When they did the sequel to Jane Silent Bob Strike Back, they had they had a very few screens. That's the last time I saw Brandon here in El Paso. So there is now Lance saying hi to Biggie Styles. What's up, my brother? Missed the days of the Bruise Brothers. That's exactly what they were called. That's the one thing I love about the show. Everybody's kind of reminiscing. So the main event's going to be a tribal combat match. For some reason, every time I see combat, I want to say Mortal in front of it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because the movie came out, I want to see Mortal Kombat. So it's for the World Championship. And it just shows you, my brother, Mr. Lutz, which title they view more important right now. The one Roman has right now compared to the one that Cody. But when you think about it, Cody's title is the one supposed to mean the most because it is the WWE Undisputed Championship. Roman has the World Championship. But then again, it's like to say whoever's the bigger wrestler is the one that's going to be in the main event. He's got the belt. So right now, I guess obviously the bigger wrestler is going to be Roman Reigns. I would not be shocked to see young Jacob Fatu win this match there, Jack. I could see a situation where maybe the Uso brothers kind of maybe turn on Roman. I mean, you saw LA Knight talking about it. LA Knight kind of being not happy with what's going on with Roman. It's just the second coming of the bloodline, and Robert is back, says he just wants to see Jacob kick some buttocks. Says the rest of the show is kind of mess. So your thoughts on the main events of the night? Of course, this is a rematch of the main event in Backlash where Roman won a very hard-fought match. Both of these guys did very good. But this is basically, it's like a street fight, but they're calling it the tribal. Whoever wins gets a ulafola. They put it on, and they're the OTC. But I know you can't see because the shirt that I'm wearing.
Nice. Yeah.
You know who I'm
Man.
going for. You know who I'm going for.
So, look, man, I got a feeling in my stomach that we're going to see a title change. I think I don't know which. I mean, we're doing these predictions. I just think it would be a travesty to have a PLE all the way out in Italia, and you don't have one single title change. There has to be a title change here. So, my hot take, Mando.
Your second one in the last 5 minutes. Jacob Fatu wins the championship. So
Yes.
so that means he is the tribal chief. Because that's what it would
make him
mean.
a tribal chief. Yep. That would add drama. That would add a lot of drama to the storyline. Why not? Why not?
If you have your way, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. You have Gunter winning the championship, and like I said, I like to see that as well. They need to have Fatu, so both world championships will change hands in Italy, and that would honestly be a shocker. And I think it would get a lot of people talking in a positive note. So Robert, once again, his back says that, of course, he's with you. He wants Fatu to win. Roman does not need the championship. That is without a doubt. Roman does not need the championship. Back to the discussion of which champion is bigger. Domingo says it isn't the champion of Raw, usually the bigger deal. It's been that way in the past, even when SmackDown was a better product. But I guess that's why they... when Roman had the championship, it was whatever championship Roman had, that was the biggest one. Because remember, after he beat Lesnar and they kind of unified it or whatever, that's when they created the world championship because he wasn't coming out on TV that often, so they needed the belt to be on TV. And of course, Seth Rollins won that match. So I'd be very interested to see if Jacob Fatu wins the championship. We will find out on Sunday. Very well. Good job, my brother. Good job with your predictions.
Just doing like across the board, title changes across the board. So
Yep.
I'm betting on a trifecta here, so we'll see.
Okay, a couple of yes nos very quickly off the top of my head. Does McIntyre return in this pay-per-view in some form?
Yes. Overseas, yes.
Okay. What about Randy Orton?
Yes.
Does LA Knight get involved in the Roman match? If the Usos get involved.
Yes.
That's the one thing I like that they did.
Yes.
There you go. Yes. That's the one thing they have done the last two pay-per-views in a row. WrestleMania and then I'm talking about the last night, Sunday night, and then the Backlash pay-per-view. They didn't have anybody interfere in the match. It was just mano a mano. Of course, the Punk Roman is an instant classic. Fatu one was a pretty good one. Not an instant classic, but I'm very curious to see if they just let them do their own thing without interference. Like, hey, man, if they're going to let people interfere, why not let Solo interfere? That's all I'm saying.
Big name, yeah.
Robert says, I didn't even think about this. What about CM Punk, who was making the rounds on social media because some guy was working out? It's like if you're working out at the gym there in Las Cruces with Jack, and then somebody in the background is looking very, very big, kind of like Jack, and it's CM Punk. See, that's the latest CM Punk sighting we have seen. So we'll find out, brother.
Yeah.
We will find out. We will find out. Jack, good job as always. And
Likewise.
we will do it again. And like I said, we got a great weekend of wrestling. We got AAA, and then you got the Clash in Italy, and then we'll be back next Tuesday to do it again. So for Jack, Monster, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us here. Oh, yeah, I forgot to do that. Hold up. You reminded me now, so now I got to do it. Where is it? There it is. Like and subscribe. And let me make it. I forgot to do it. I got so many things, look, so now I'm going to make it big. Like and subscribe the video, please. Please do that. So like and subscribe. I have an animated version of it. Where is it? I don't know where it's at, but I do have an animated version of that where the guy goes like this. Hold up. Well, if you could only see all the stuff I have in front of me,
I'm
Jack.
holding. I'm not going anywhere.
Alex is here, tuned in a little bit late, but glad I got to see this part of the episode of Slammin' It. There you go. My boy, though, we got to rush at the end. Domingo, Caduso, Swerve Roman, and join Jacob's version of the Bloodline. I would like to see that. I would like to see that because remember, it's like everybody's kind of upset because we're getting the Bloodline version 2.0. I'm still looking for that animated version of like and subscribe. I don't know where it's at. I don't know where it's at. Hold up. What is this one? There it is. He's back. Like and subscribe. And he's gone. What is this one? Hold up. What is this one? I don't know. Oh, there you go. I forgot this one too. Since this is... See, this is the beauty of this show. Is that when we're on the radio, we'd mess around like this. But now I can actually mess around with you guys actually watching it. And like I said, I got so much stuff that I don't know. I was like, what does that say? So anyways, now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. And it is like after I'll be honest with you, I still need to upload the one from next week, but I'll do it again. I'll do it probably tomorrow. But you can find. Yes, sir.
Before we go, we got to do a version of the show where I'm suspended and I can't talk throughout the whole damn show.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that. Why were you suspended? Was Courtney mad at you or something? What happened?
Because I played Rammstein on the radio. Stupid. Absolutely stupid.
You know what's funny? A true story. This is going to be a little Kelly Q talk. I was talking to Duke Heath yesterday because I'm trying to get him to do some a volleyball. A soccer all-star game on Thursday that's going to be broadcasted here on EP Broadcast. It's the Prep 1 all-star game. Anyways, I was talking to Duke, and then I was telling Duke that I remember that when I first started, when I was technically on air, on the queue. I think I played, I didn't play Rammstein. Who did I play? Give me some of the other heavy metal. It wasn't Static X. It might have been Static X.
Like a Megadeth.
No.
Pantera.
No.
I'm thinking of like radio-friendly metal.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But it was one of the ones that we couldn't play in the morning, but it was okay to play in the afternoon for some reason. It might have been something like who had hard like music, like a not System of a Down, but kind of one of those.
Did you have to? Did you also have to raise the tower and lower the tower frequency? Did
Yes,
you have to do that too?
I did have to do that. I'm trying to now, the man, now, like no matter how much you try, you can't turn. It's not System of a Down. You just want to give me sing, right? Not Gore. Gore would have been awesome, dude. We never played Gore. We never had any balls to play Gore. Jack,
No.
do you play Gore? I mean, I'd be very impressed in your station. Do you really play Gore? No, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
No, you really do? Wow.
I'll play it tomorrow.
Do it at what time?
I'll play it tomorrow.
There's Alex saying now he used to do walk.
Yeah, that was the only Pantera song that we had. I can tell you the story to that. Yeah, we were doing a balloon fest.
Yep.
1 year, and
it's getting real now, y'all.
yeah, we were doing a balloon fest, and I'm back at the station, because I was the low man on the totem pole at the time, and the DJ, whatever house music that they had, Pantera's Walk came on, and like the crowd, there just went like ballistic, and then Courtney comes back. Yo, what's this Pantera song? Have you heard about this Walk song?
Jesus.
Like, yeah, it's super popular. Okay, we're gonna put it on there. It's like the only Pantera song that they played for years. They may play like maybe one more, like 5 minutes alone, if that, or maybe something off a Vulgar Display of Power, but I highly doubt it.
I'm still looking for the band here. Have you seen me off? I'm like on my phone because I have it on my phone. I know it was not. I know it was not Rick Derringer. That's an old school Hogan thing. I don't think it was Static X. I can't believe because they're like it's like
So
he hold up. He goes. You can't tell me what to do. I'm not gonna do what you. It's one of the ones.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yes, there it is. It was one of the Rage Against the Machine songs. And I think it was that one, so he walked in, and I told Duke, I was talking to Duke about, hey man, remember when this happened? Because I asked Duke how things are going at the station because he's still there. And then I remember I told him I remember when I played the Rage song, and then I knew I wasn't supposed to play it, but I played it anyway because back then I could use the excuse that I didn't know. So when he came in, he was mad, dog. He was like upset. He was like, why are you playing that at 8 o'clock in the morning? And then true to God, I just looked at him and said, somebody requested it, so I played it.
Yeah.
And he
Oh,
lost
heaven
it.
forbid you actually play a request
Yeah,
at that time.
so rest in peace to Magic Mike. At the end of the day, he was a good dude, But like I said, back then, like, you're not supposed to play like like you said, Jack, radio friendly songs. Even though it made no sense to me that we played AC/DC in the morning, which is still kind of considered harder rock than. Anyways, but you all play a Static X in the morning, so good for you. So.
We have
yeah.
what we call the official "Wake Your Ass Up" song of the day. So
Okay, so make sure it's Gore tomorrow.
Gore,
So
yeah.
I'll listen
So we'll
online.
do it.
All right, so the show diverted into some rock history because I couldn't remember a damn song, but nonetheless, Jack, good job as always, and we'll do it again next week. 1, 2, 3. Okay, bye. What happened,
Okay,
bro?
bye.
No, see, you missed time. Now we got to do it again. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna have to have that countdown. So it goes. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Damn it. Okay, bye. We'll see you later.